The Birth of Cinema, How the Lumière Brothers Revolutionized Storytelling. Have you ever wondered where it all began? The very moment people first sat in a darkened room and witnessed flickering images come alive on a screen? Imagine the rustle of excitement in a small Parisian café, the murmurs of a curious crowd unsure what they were about to experience. In a single night, on December 28, 1895, history was made. The Lumière brothers' first paid public screening at the Grand Café on the Boulevard des Capucines not only dazzled the onlookers present, it triggered a revolution that would transform art, entertainment, and human communication forever. Stay with me to uncover how that modest event became the spark that ignited the modern film industry and why its echoes still reverberate in every movie we watch today. Picture Paris at the close of the 19th century, the streets illuminated by newly introduced electric lamps, art flourishing in salons and cafes, and the Eiffel Tower still a relatively recent marvel, erected just a few years before in 1889. This was a time of palpable innovation and electrifying change. The city was alive with music, theater, and people pushing the boundaries of technology. It was in this vibrant atmosphere that Auguste and Louis Lumière decided to offer the world something entirely new. They called it the Cinematographe, a device that could capture moving images and project them onto a screen for a group audience to watch, together in real time. Now, if you've never heard of the Cinematographe or the Lumière brothers before, let me assure you, these were not mere tinkers in a random workshop. The Lumière family business was in the photographic plate industry, and Louis Lumière himself was known as a brilliant inventor. From the moment they first tinkered with creating moving pictures, they knew they were sitting on a technology that would change the course of history. But even they might not have grasped just how monumental its impact would be. On December 28, 1895, a handful of Parisians gathered in the basement of the Grand Café on the Boulevard des Capucines. The room was modest, far from the grand cinemas we know now, and only a few rows of chairs were set up for the curious spectators who had paid a franc each for a seat. But the air was crackling with anticipation because, for the first time in history, images in motion would be shown to a paying audience. And what did the viewers see? Short films, each only around 45 seconds to a minute long. Titles like Workers Leaving the Lumière Factory or The Sprinkler Sprinkled might sound mundane by our modern standards, but these early glimpses of real-life movement on a screen astounded the audience. Some accounts from that night describe people gasping, leaning forward in their seats, and whispering in amazement. One of the short films even famously depicted a train arriving at a station, and legend has it that a few spectators recoiled, fearing the locomotive might come barreling into their humble screening room. In that moment, reality and projected imagery blurred into one, creating an experience never before felt in human history. Imagine living in a world where all you've ever seen are still photographs, paintings, or stage plays. Then, out of nowhere, you witness people, real people, walking, waving, and going about their daily lives on a flat, illuminated canvas. The sense of wonder was so potent that many in attendance believed they were seeing magic. But of course, it wasn't magic. It was the dawn of a new era, a harbinger of how humanity would forever change its relationship with storytelling, art, and technology. So why was this moment so critical for the development of humanity? Because it introduced a medium that transcended language barriers and cultural differences. Cinema, from its very inception, spoke to something universal in us, the desire to see stories unfold visually, to share experiences that were once confined to the imagination. What happened that night at the Grand Café quickly evolved beyond novelty. It became a mirror reflecting not just society's daily life, but our collective hopes, fears, and dreams. The Lumière brothers were not the first to dabble with moving images. Individuals like Thomas Edison had been experimenting with motion picture devices like the kinetoscope. But Edison's invention was designed primarily for individual viewing. People would peer into a peephole machine. The Lumière brothers brought forward the next step, projection for a group audience. By sharing the experience in a communal setting, they made movie-going a social event. This aspect, watching a film together, would shape entire generations and industries, from the silent era of Charlie Chaplin to modern Hollywood blockbusters. But how exactly did the Lumières reach this point? Their father, Antoine Lumière, was a photographer who transitioned into manufacturing photographic plates. Working alongside him, Louis and Auguste developed their keen sense for cutting-edge technology. After seeing Edison's kinetoscope in Paris in 1894, Louis became determined to craft a more compact, more versatile apparatus. Thus, the Cinematographe was born. Patented in early 1895, it weighed only about 5 kilograms and served as a camera, projector, and film developer, all in one. This portability and multifunctionality set the stage for cinema as we now know it. Here's a question to keep you on the edge of your seat. How did the Lumière brothers convince a skeptical public to pay good money to watch these short clips? The answer lies in their marketing genius. They chose the prestigious Boulevard des Capucines for their public screening. This was the heart of Parisian nightlife, where fashionable Parisians strolled seeking new amusements. They distributed handbills promising a new spectacle, motion photography that looked startlingly real, and word of mouth did the rest. Once a few spectators walked out with wide-eyed astonishment, a line formed down the street. Within a matter of days, Paris was buzzing about the magic taking place in that basement room. Their business acumen also extended to the subject matter of the films themselves. The Lumières shot everyday scenes, workers clocking out, a baby being fed, a gardener watering his plants, things that felt instantly relatable. Audiences recognized themselves in these slices of life, adding to the wonder. It wasn't a lavishly staged theater production. It felt tangible, as if you could step right into the screen. News of this groundbreaking screening spread at lightning speed, at least by 1895 standards. Journalists wrote rave reviews about the magical pictures, while scientists marveled at the engineering behind the Cinematographe. Theater owners and entrepreneurs saw a potentially lucrative new form of entertainment. Soon, moving pictures became the talk of the town, and within months, the Lumières found themselves hosting more screenings, not just in Paris, but across Europe and then around the globe. Yet the Lumière brothers, interestingly, did not believe that cinema would endure as an artistic medium. They famously stated that the cinema is an invention without any future. Little did they know, they were planting the seeds for an industry that would grow into one of the most influential and profitable forms of entertainment worldwide. Here's a startling fact. The success of that one evening at the Grand Café directly contributed to the global film industry, which is now valued in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Isn't it astonishing to think that such a massive cultural and financial phenomenon can trace its lineage back to a 20-minute program of silent shorts in a modest basement? This begs the question, what else might we dismiss today as a passing fad, only to see it shape our future in unimaginable ways? The spark of innovation. It's a reminder that the spark of innovation often emerges from curiosity and the willingness to share something novel with the world, even if it seems small at first. The Lumières could have kept their invention private or sold it as a scientific oddity. Instead, they opened the doors for the entire world to witness the birth of cinema. Cinema quickly evolved from short documentary-style clips to full-blown narrative fiction, accompanied by orchestras during the silent era and eventually by synchronized sound starting in the late 1920s. By the mid-20th century, color films brought stories to life with dazzling vibrancy. And in modern times, digital effects enable filmmakers to craft entire universes from pure imagination. But why does this matter for humanity? Because film transcended the constraints of language and literacy, bridging cultures worldwide. Silent films, for instance, brought Charlie Chaplin's comedic genius to countries that didn't even share a common tongue, forming a global cultural bond that had never existed before. Later, films captured historical moments and social issues, informing millions of people and influencing public opinion. In short, cinema became a universal storyteller, a powerful medium that shapes attitudes, preserves history, and fosters empathy by allowing us to step into the lives and stories of others. Have you ever felt completely transported by a film, forgetting your surroundings and immersing yourself in a different era or another world? That visceral emotion you experience when watching a movie traces right back to that December night in 1895. The Lumières gifted us a new lens through which to understand our world. From the earliest silent reels to the biggest global franchises, films have the power to amuse, educate, and unite us. And here's another powerful truth. The influence of cinema extends beyond mere entertainment. Documentaries have exposed injustices and provoked real social change, shining a spotlight on issues often overlooked by mainstream media. Educational films have brought scientific wonders into classrooms worldwide. Even propaganda films have shaped political landscapes for better or worse. The Lumiere's invention didn't just captivate audiences, it fundamentally redefined how humanity processes information and storytelling. Shortly after their groundbreaking screening, the Lumière brothers dispatched camera operators around the globe to capture everyday scenes in faraway lands. These operators brought back footage that allowed Parisians, and soon the rest of Europe and the world, to witness daily life in countries they might never visit. It turned the camera into a window, not just onto local happenings, but onto cultures spanning continents. In that sense, the Lumière brothers can be credited with pioneering some of the earliest forms of international documentary. Their legacy endured and evolved. Georges Méliès, another pioneer, was inspired by Lumière films and started creating dazzling early special effects. Then came countless innovators like D.W. Griffith, Sergei Eisenstein, and the pioneers of Hollywood, who expanded on these foundational breakthroughs. Fast forward to the 21st century, and we stand in an era of streaming platforms, global film festivals, and cinematic universes that earn billions. Yet all of it still owes a debt to that December evening in 1895, when the spark was first ignited. It's incredible how a single event, tucked away in a café basement, could ripple throughout history. If you've ever streamed a film on your phone, or found solace in a cinema on a rainy afternoon, you've felt the continuing impact of the Lumiere's dream. This moment in Paris underscores the idea that the most significant revolutions in history often start small, sometimes with just a handful of people willing to take a risk on a strange new idea. For humanity, this was not just a technological leap forward, it was a cultural one. The birth of cinema created a shared visual language that would unite billions of people across decades and continents. Films became documents of society's progress and values, capable of preserving memories long after the last eyewitness has passed on. They became tools of persuasion, empathy, and education, shaping how we perceive ourselves and each other. In short, December 28, 1895, marks the day the world gained a collective dream machine. From that inaugural screening at the Grand Café to the cinematic marvels we cherish today, the journey of the moving picture is a testament to human creativity, curiosity, and the relentless pursuit of progress. Cinema stands as one of the most influential mediums ever invented, uniting, educating, and entertaining us in ways the Lumières themselves never imagined. The ripple effects of that magical night still flow through every movie theater, living room screen, and smartphone worldwide. If this story has stirred your curiosity and you want to explore more about the Lumière brothers and the origins of cinema, be sure to check out the links in the description and the first pinned comment. You'll find recommended books that dive deeper into this pivotal moment in history, offering even greater insight into how December 28, 1895, shaped our modern world. So click those links, expand your knowledge, and continue the journey into the fascinating origins of the art form that forever changed how we see, understand, and connect with our world.